Matt and I recently took a trip to Ludington, Michigan, and we stayed at this beautiful bed and breakfast called the Cartier Mansion. In this video, we are going to share what our experience was like at this bed and breakfast and also give you a tour of the interior of this gorgeous historic home. I will also share some of the interesting history on the family that built this home. Matt and I and two of our good friends, we packed up the car and we headed to Ludington. Ludington is on the northwest side of Michigan and it's along Lake Michigan. It was about a 3.5-hour drive for us and it was a great time to do the drive in October. It was pretty scenery. We stopped about an hour and a half into our drive to have lunch at Herrick House and Mulberry Cafe, which is in Clare, Michigan. And boy, was that a delicious meal and the perfect place to stop on our way to Ludington. We had a delicious homemade meal and then we were back on the road so that we could get to Ludington before dinner. Our suite at the mansion was in the carriage house, not the main house. And I'm going to show you, we had one of the hayloft rooms on the second floor in the carriage house. And I'm going to give you a little tour of it. This carriage house used to house the horses on the first floor, and on the second floor where our room was, they would store hay and feed for the animals, and that's why they call this the hayloft. On this first level of the carriage house, there are also 2 suites on this level also. This area of the carriage house had such a warm, cozy, inviting feeling. All this beautiful wood in here is hard to capture on camera. After we checked out this part of the carriage house, we went upstairs to check out our rooms. Our suite was truly gorgeous and cozy and everything you would want after a long drive and arriving at the bed and breakfast. It was just so nice to walk into this space and everything was clean, cozy. There were chocolates from a local chocolate shop waiting for us. The people that run, the couple, I should say it's a husband and wife that run this bed and breakfast, truly, they thought of everything. Their names are Jenna and Chris Simpler. They own and run the Cartier Mansion. They make the perfect team with expertise in luxury hospitality and the culinary arts. Every morning, they would serve some of Chris's culinary creations for breakfast, while Jenna served and shared history on the mansion with everyone. Sometimes their dog Carson would make an appearance also, and those were some special days when we got to pet Carson. Every morning, Chris and Jenna would serve up Chris's culinary creations, while Jenna would answer questions and tell stories about the history of the mansion. Their combined passion for history and hospitality are what truly makes this place exceptional and like no other. Before we get to the tour of the main mansion, I'm gonna just share a little glimpse of the fun we had with our friends during this trip. Okay, so we're here with our friends and they're in the room right next to us. Matt's about to go over there and knock on their door in the room.
Put something on the thing.
On what?
I would say put something on the. You guys will go to dinner now? You guys ready for dinner? Bye.
We thought we were so funny and creative, but our friends were only interested in checking out our room to see what our room looked like. So while they were checking out our room, I decided to check their room out and give you a tour of their room, which was just as cozy and beautiful as our hayloft room. I think we had hayloft 1 and they had hayloft 2. Both rooms were large with their own private bathrooms, and we were happy with both rooms. The next morning, I came outside with my coffee before breakfast and tried to get some footage of the house on the exteriors and the interiors. I'm going to give you some history on the house and the family that lived in the house, and after we tour the house, I'm going to show you around the town and Lake Michigan. This beautiful home was built by Warren and Kate Cartier. Warren was the son of a lumber baron, and he established himself as a businessman and politician in Ludington. Warren and his wife, Kate, built this 3-story neoclassical home in 1905. The home boasts Roman pressed brick and Bedford limestone accents. Warren was very forward-thinking, and some of his best friends were Edison, Ford, and Firestone. Because Warren knew some of the technologies that his friend Edison was working on, when he built this house, he double-plumbed gas and electric for all the light fixtures because he knew his friend Edison was working on electric technology that would be coming out in the future, so that when that technology was available, it would be an easy switch to go from gas to electric with all the light fixtures without having to replace any of the light fixture. Because of this, all of the light fixtures in the home are original, and I'm going to show you some of these light fixtures once we go inside and tour the interiors. Warren also put a heating and cooling system into this house, even though AC did not exist at the time. In every guest room, you will see on the wall a Johnson Control Company thermostat. This thermostat was used to control the AC system. On the outside of the house, up on the rooftop, there is a big black cylinder where all the heat would get pumped out of the house. And then it would bring in some of the cool air from the outside with a wiring system that would cool the air, in which you could adjust the temperature and create a nice little breeze inside the house. Warren was always thinking ahead during the building of this house and trying to think for the future. It took about 2 years to finish building this home, and the cost was around $100,000. In today's costs, it would be well over $3 million. The interiors of the house are finished with over 17 species of wood. Throughout, there is mahogany, cherry, walnut, white maple, oak, and hickory. All of the tile fireplaces that you'll see in this video are the original tile, and like I said earlier, all of the light fixtures are original to when they built the home. While we were guests at the house, we were free to use any of these rooms if we'd like, and sometimes they would even have a player piano playing in the front parlor, which was an extra nice touch that we enjoyed walking into the house for breakfast or in the afternoon and hearing the piano play. Just took us like into another world. You walk in the house and it's like you just entered another world. There's no other way to say it. It was such a great experience, and I'm so glad we took the time to make this trip and to come to this house of all the bed and breakfasts that we could go to, this award-winning bed and breakfast, and I cannot recommend it enough. It was such a wonderful experience. I will show later in the video after we tour the house some of the activities that we did in the town and near Lake Michigan after this tour. The amount of detail and craftsmanship in this home was overwhelming. I tried to capture as much as possible so that I could share it with you all, but you would really have to go and see for yourself to truly appreciate how beautiful this home was. Another part of this bed and breakfast that I have not shown you yet is the outdoor area. They have a beautiful fire pit set up in the backyard of the mansion, and we spent a couple nights sitting around the fire and getting to know some of the other guests that were staying at the bed and breakfast while we were there. And we really enjoyed that. We would walk to town for dinner and then walk back and sit around the fire for a little while, just relaxing and chatting with the other people, the other guests, before we would go up to our suites for the night. One night when we were there, we went to the beach to watch the sunset over Lake Michigan. The bed and breakfast is about 4 blocks from the beach. That night we drove because we went and picked up a pizza before we went so that we could sit and eat the pizza and watch the sunset. But it is close enough to walk to the beach from the mansion. There is also a cute downtown area within walking distance of the bed and breakfast, and it had lots of good restaurants, coffee shops, antique shops, which we did a lot of antiquing and enjoyed that. The town was very walkable and pedestrian friendly, and we enjoyed our time in the town just as much as we enjoyed our time in the mansion. I really wanted to share this trip with you all because we had such a good time. I hope you enjoyed this little video I put together for you all. Please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to our channel because it helps our channel a lot. Thanks for watching, everyone.